is sleeping under there. Oh, I disturbed her. She's got her bed with a sheet on top. She likes that sheet. Sadie, what are you doing? Taking a nap? You're tired, weren't you? Yeah, there she is. Say hi. Oh. Big yawn. No, not a big yawn. I woke you right up, didn't I? Did I wake you up? You were taking a nap? Yeah. You can go back to sleep. Ears up, ears down, ears up, ears down, ears up. Tail wag. She hears Chris in the kitchen. Thinks there might be a chance of getting something to eat, don't you, Sadie? All right, go get him. Go see what he's doing. Go see what Chris is doing. Bye, Sadie. Hello, everybody. It's Wendy, and today we're going to make a necklace. This is kind of a whimsical, fun little necklace using this little fish bead from Sam's Bead Box this month. So first of all, our encouraging word for today is good actions give strength to ourselves and inspire good actions in others. And that is Play-Doh. And that's pretty smart. Okay, so what you're going to need if you want to make this is a fish bead. You could use any type of fish bead. If you don't have a fish bead, you could use a triangle-shaped bead because we're going to put some bead caps on the end here for some fins. So that would work. So just get creative. But there's a fish bead. This is from Sam's Bead Box, and it is check glass fish focal in pale lavender, 17.5 by 23 millimeters. Okay, so that's that one. We're going to be using some of these really pretty check glass hexagons in the Blue River mix. And these are really cool. They have like purple in them. See, this fish bead is kind of a purpley. They have purple and this aqua color, really pretty. We're going to be using some of those. We're going to do a pair of earrings. I'm not sure if we're going to do that in this video or not, but I'm going to use some other beads from Sam's Bead Box, and I will show you those if we get to them. You're going to need some bead caps. So I've got these two larger bead caps. Here they are. Okay, and then I have a smaller bead cap. We're going to be doing some layering to make kind of fins. You're going to need a lobster clasp, a head pin, actually more than one head pin. We're probably going to need, I don't know, 4 or 5 head pins. You don't need a whole big huge amount, but you need a few. And I'm trying to grab, I'm not going to need big ones for these. Just, you need a kind of a long one for this. This is a 2-inch head pin. But for the rest of this necklace, you're not going to need long ones. So I was trying to pull out a couple of smaller ones because I don't really like to waste my long ones if I don't have to. So, and I know I could make a shorter one if I needed to, but yeah, we'll deal with that when we come to it. This might be enough. You're going to need a hook and eye, just the hook part of the hook and eye. Now, if you don't have a hook and eye closure that you can steal this from, you can use a fish hook, earring, ear wire. You're going to need some jump rings. I've got a couple of just silver spacer beads here. And then I've got this chain. Now this chain came from AliExpress, and I thought it was really cool. It almost looks like it has little bubbles on it. So we're going to try, come on camera, we're going to try to use this and see how it will work. You can use any chain that you have though. And then you're going to need jump rings in different sizes. So as you can see here, I've got a big, this is like a 12 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 6, 4. So I've got several different sizes and some 8s in here of jump rings. And your jewelry tools, of course. And I think that's everything, I think. Like I said, I haven't put this together, obviously, because I wouldn't have the fish bead to use if I had. But I've got it in my head, so we'll see how it works out. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is put our fish on this head pin and get him like we want him to look. So what I am wanting to do is grab another one of these guys. I'm trying to incorporate these lavender and blue beads in because I really like them. I think they're really pretty. So I'm just going to grab out one that's got some of the lavender color in it and some of the blue. We'll see how this looks. I'm going to put that bead on, just like that. Then I'm going to layer my bead caps. I'm going to put this one on first, facing that, and then this one facing that one. See how they kind of layer in there? Just like that. And then I'm going to put my fish bead on, just like this. So it kind of looks like an extended tail. It's really just giving more decoration, but you know, it kind of looks like that. Then I'm going to put this bead on facing away from the fish. And then I'm going to put a couple of these little spacers, or maybe just the one, probably just the one. So here's what we have. I think it's really cute. And then I'm going to take my jewelry pliers. Let me get them out here. I have been out of town and everything's put away. Okay. And I'm going to create the other end of my eye pin. So just another loop. So get down as close to the bead as you can. Bend this 90 degrees, just like that. You want this to be kind of, you don't, whoops, oh my goodness, my beads are falling off. You don't want there to be a lot of room. You want this to be kind of tight. So I no, I don't have enough room to make a wrap loop, I don't think. But you want this to be down close to the bead so it's not flopping around, okay? And then I'm just going to cut it off. And I roll fairly short, small loops. So I'm just going to cut it about halfway there. And then I'm going to take my round nose pliers. And I'm just going to roll this loop back. And hopefully, if I roll it down tight, it's going to tighten up these beads. Yeah, so they're not flopping around too much. So there's what we've got. It looks like a little fish. There's his eye, so I'm trying to keep the eye on the front. Now, it would be kind of cute to glue a little crystal there on his eye. You could do that if you wanted to. I don't think I'm going to today, because I'm trying to keep this kind of boho looking and not so much sparkly. But if you wanted to, you definitely could do that. So I'm just trying to tighten this loop up here just a bit. Okay. Make sure it's closed up good. Okay, so there's our little fish component. Now, right here, I have laid out my bubbles, kind of like I want them to look. So, what I'm going to do for this, let me see, I do see a smaller eye pin in here. I don't need a very big eye pin on these hex beads, but my small eye pins appear to be at the very bottom of my container, so let me pull them all out and grab one. Okay, here we go. All right, so I've got this jump ring here. What I'm going to do is hook it directly onto my little fish bead. My tools are by Xuron, Xuron. Everybody always asks, so I'm going to go ahead and just say it. I got them on Amazon. You can get them other places. I think Hobby Lobby has them. They're really good. I like them a lot. Now, you want to make sure that your rings are closed up really good when you do this, because you don't want these bubble components coming apart. And that's what we're making, is it's going to look like he's got little bubbles coming up out of his mouth. Okay, now I'm going to take this hex bead, put it right on this. Oh, maybe it's too thick for that hex bead. Well, that's not good. I just assumed it would go on there. Okay, let me see if I may have to use one of the long ones just to get one thin enough to do it. Yeah, it's going to take a long one. But what I do when I have to use a longer pin for something and have a bunch of leftover wire, I save all of my wire, and then you can make head pins or eye pins. Like this piece, I could make a head pin or an eye pin. I could flatten out the end of it and make like a paddle head pin if I wanted to. So I save all those pieces. I don't waste them. Because you can always use them later. Okay. And I'm going to just make the loop here on this little hex bead. I'm going to hook it right on here. Well, I didn't. didn't make it big, or didn't leave it open enough, so I was just going to try to hook it right on, but I had to open it back up. Okay, just going to hook it right on there. Close it up. Make sure everything's closing really well. Okay, so there's one little component. And I broke a piece off of that hex bead, didn't I? Oh no, yeah, I sure did. Well, that's not going to work. I will have to fix that. So, let me get another one. That was not good. You have to be kind of careful. I maybe had it tightened down too far. I've done that many, many times. It's sad, but when it happens, but it does happen. So I'm just trying to find another one. Here's one that's got a lot of the lavender, or some of the lavender in it. I wish they would go on these smaller eye pins, but they just won't. All right, so here we go. Let's see if I can do this without cracking it. Maybe make my loop a little bit bigger. There we go. And just roll it back. These, it doesn't matter. They don't really have to be that tight on the pin. Like I wanted all this to be really tight, so it just wouldn't move around a lot while, you know, you want it to look like the fish. And if you had a lot of extra space there in your eye pin, it's going to kind of flop around and not look cohesive. Like, you know, I want those bead caps to look like fins, and if they were flopping around, it wouldn't so much. So, but these, you don't have to worry about them being that tight. They're just really for decoration. So there's a bubble. Now we're going to put this one in here. Whoops. What we're going to do is we're going to open this up, and we're going to put our big ring and our small ring both on there. Whoops. Small ring didn't want to stay. Put big ring and small ring just like that and close it up. And I am taking care to be a little careful and try not to crack my hex bead again. Okay, so there's that. So it looks like there's a little bubble inside of a bubble. And we're going to put our next one on. Just like this. And it doesn't really matter how you do this. Oh, my bubble inside my bubble's not going to sit right, is he? Nope. So we're going to have to do him from the top. So let me take him off here. Lay this back out. And yeah, if I want the bubble inside the bubble, I'm going to have to hang it from this one as well. This top one. Okay, and then just kind of let him dangle down like that. That's going to work much better. And I'm going on with my next one. And you're basically just creating a chain of jump rings, but they're going to look like little bubbles coming out of his mouth. That's the idea. Anyway, I'm going to add this one on because it's next. And you can do this however you want. You can change it up. You can totally up to your own creative control. Just make sure that you're getting your rings closed. That's the important thing here. Okay. Let's see. We're going to do this one next, I think. We'll hook this one onto this one. And then I kind of wanted to hang, if I can, the blue bead inside of here. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to create a tiny little loop. Well, that one will fit on there. But I don't need an eye pin. I need a head pin for this. I'm sorry. I didn't say head pins because I wasn't thinking. But yeah, you obviously are going to need a head pin because you don't really want a loop at the bottom. Not for this. Okay. So we're just going to put it on a head pin. And we're just going to make the tiniest little loop that we can. So actually I'm going to use my crimping pliers for this. I like to use, I think, or maybe, where am I? Here we go. These are by Bead, and they are teeny tiny. You can make some tiny little loops with these guys. And I do like to use them for making little loops like this, okay? So there he is. Now we're actually going to hang him from the next bead up that we do, or the next ring up. So I'll take this ring, I'll hook him on right here, and then hook it on here, and that's going to make it hang a little bit. And I'm just doing it for decoration, you know, just so that there's some of these little blue beads on here, because I think they're so cute. We want them to show. Okay, and then we'll take this one, and we're going to do the same thing we did down there. We're going to do a bead, or a ring, and then hang that inside. So I'm going to go ahead up here. I'm going to create my link for this. So I'm just going to use, again, if I can see if I can get it on this eye pin. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put it on this smaller eye pin. Create a link. Roll the loop back. Just like that. And then I'm going to take it, and the this little ring I'm going to hang from here, and then put this ring on, and it's going to make that other little ring kind of hang inside the big one here. Oh no. Little fiddly there. I just totally lost it right out of my hand. Okay, there we go. Just close it up good. Okay. Now, we've got a little string of bubbles here and beads. I think that's super cute. Make sure that one's closed good. Okay. All right, now we're going to hook our fish hook looking. It's going to be like he's on the hook, okay? So we need to take another jump ring. I'm going to use a small one for this. I'm trying to find a smaller, bright silver one. This is a really small. I don't think it'll work. It's too small. Okay, okay, we'll use this one. It's not that small, but it's okay. And I'm just going to take it and hook it right on here, and then I'm going to hook this right on, and we're going to have to close this fish hook up, okay? So it doesn't just come right off. And I'm just going to take my plier here and close it up. Just bending it together. Keep on doing it until it touches. Just bring it together. And you'll have to fiddle with it a little bit. You may even have to use these longer pliers. It'll get around it better. And you just want to close it up as much as you possibly can. There we go. Now that's going to keep your fish on there. He's not going to fall off so easy. Okay? So there's what we've got. We've got our little bubbles going all the way up. Our little dangles kind of hanging on there. They're cute. And they'll hang down when we put this on. Okay. So now we're going to pull in our chain. And I love this chain. I think I got it on AliExpress. It's been a while, so I can't totally remember, but I think that's where it came from. And I know that I like this kind of a necklace to have 12 inches per side. So it would be about 24 inches total. So what I'm going to do is measure this. And let's see how long we've got right here. So I've got 4 inches. Okay, so I need 8 more inches of this chain. So I'm just going to measure out my 8 inches. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. Just a little below the 8 inches, or past it, so not quite 8.5, but I just want to make sure that I have enough. And now for the other side, I'm going to cut a full 12. Okay, whoops. And this chain's very delicate. I've actually sat here and tried to pull out some jump rings that I think will fit on it. I hope they will. But I just like the way it looked with all the little, they look like bubbles. Okay. So now, what I'm going to do is take my little fish, take my little chain, and one of these tiny thin jump rings. I'm going to try to hook this through that little link on the chain. I hope it'll work. I don't know. I may not have any jump rings that are thin enough, but I think one of these might. We'll try this one. I know I have some bigger ones that will probably go through, but I really wanted to use a smaller one for this. So I'm just checking to see if he will go through that teeny tiny, and he won't. I'm going to have to go thinner. This one looks like it may be a little bit thinner. Let's try it. It's hard. This link is so tiny, but I really do want to use this chain. I like the way it looks with this. See if I can get this guy through here. Yep, okay. So he goes through. I'm just going to hook it right here. Make sure you get this closed up really good. It's very easy. I don't know why it is. It's hard to get it on there. But believe me, it'll slip out easy enough. You know, you don't want that. Okay, so then on this other side, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to have to look here and see if I can find a couple of another thinner one like that one. That one was really thin. And I know I probably have some more, but let me make sure if I can find one that's really thin like that one. That would be good. I've got all my jump rings mixed together. It's a bad thing, but that's just how I did it in the beginning, like unknowingly. I didn't know that that was not a good thing. And so, yeah, they're all mixed together. Okay, here's a thin one. This one will work on this other side. So I'm just going to hook it straight to the fish and get it through this little link if I can. Actually, that link looks smaller for some reason than the other links that I have. Let me turn this upside down and see if this link's any bigger. I think maybe it's just my imagination. It probably is. And this is difficult to do, but if you can just get it through there. I don't know why it seems like I'm having a hard time, because the other one went through pretty good, and this is the same gauge jump ring, I'm pretty sure. Almost had it. Well, I'm not going to make you guys sit here and endure it, so let me pause the video till I get this hooked through. Okay, so I've got those hooked on. Now I'm going to hook my lobster clasp on the end. And this is a little bit bigger jump ring, so I think it's a little thinner gauge and will be easier to get on. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to hook the lobster right onto that. Make sure it's closed up really good. And it's not. When you hear that jump ring click against itself, when you're going back and forth, hear that clicking? I don't know if you guys could hear it, but when you hear it click against itself, you know that it's closed pretty good. That's going to be what you want. Okay, and then I'm going to take this bigger ring over here on the other side. I'm hoping it'll go on here. And I'm just going to clasp the lobster right to this bigger ring, and it's not. It's too thick. I was trying to pull out really thin ones, but man, I'm telling you, this chain is tiny, so I may have to use a smaller one and then put this big one on it. It's really hard to find them that are thin enough to go on this chain. but I really like the way this chain looks. I like the little bubble effect, so I'm just really going to try to find smaller rings to use on it. Thinner rings, I guess I should say. But, you know, if you don't want to go to the trouble, you can definitely use a larger length chain. Obviously, I know everybody's not going to have this specific one, so just use what you've got. Here's a really thin jump ring. And I'll go ahead and actually put this guy through here. I would say on the gauge of the jump rings, I don't know exactly what these are, but I would say they are 22 gauge probably. And you just gotta have a pretty small one or pretty thin one, because this is some really tiny chain. I'd say these links on this chain are probably 0.5 millimeter, maybe 1 millimeter. But I think saying 1 millimeter might even be pushing it. This one's not gonna go through either. All right, let me pause it again and find a jump ring. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so I got the jump rings on in the lobster. Here it is. And it turned out really cute, I think. So let me put it on a form and I will explain, because I made a change right here and I'll show you here in just a second. Let me grab a form, just a minute. Okay, so here it is in my light box. And I think it turned out really cute. Now, I did make a change. So the one that's dangling right there, the bead that's dangling right there, it's not one to focus. I actually took that off. It was just on a regular jump ring and loop, you know, and I took it off and just put it on a ball head pin just to make the loop smaller. And I think it hangs better in there than it did in the other, in just the eye pin loop. So I made a wrapped loop, a ball head pin and a wrapped loop. Let me see if I can. My camera does not want to focus in on, there we go. So you can see a ball head pin and a wrapped loop, and that works way better, I think, for that. But anyway, oh goodness, now it's really not wanting to focus. Come on, camera. It has major issues with focusing sometimes. Huh. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's it. I think it turned out super cute. It's very whimsical. And I am going to do a matching pair of earrings, but I will do them in another video just because this one got kind of long. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will have all the links for Sam's bead box in the description box below this video. And like I said, coupon Wendy will get you $5 off of your first box. So Sam's is awesome. He has interesting stuff, and the boxes are always a huge, huge value. So thanks guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.